I wear it on the course. It gets so many laughs from all the guys. The best piece of advice that somebody gave me was it's really just to cherish the small moments. I'd like to tell all the fathers out there, make sure you just show up, show up for them, be present. Like, everybody goes through this. We all get hit. We all get knocked down. We all got to learn how to pick ourselves back up and keep moving forward. To be intent on listening and learning from your children.
Kevin, every dad has that story they just love to tell. What is your favorite dad story?
So my favorite dad story comes from my oldest son, Aiden. He was in his second year of basketball, and I just became his head coach. He was the backup point guard, and in our second game, the starting point guard broke his thumb. My son had to step in versus the hardest team we were going to play that year, and we lost. But what he developed over the course of that year, the leadership, the skills of helping other people and putting his team first, not looking to score, but looking to lift people up and allow other people to score and win, was something that still brings tears to my eyes these days. We ended up beating that team too at the end of the season by 22 points.
See, that's the nice full circle right there, right? You lost the first, come back and get him. That's good.
Yeah. After that, he was invited to play for some AAU squads that he never thought he would. And it really helped set him on a path for the rest of his life to see what he could achieve by just pushing himself where he was uncomfortable to be pushed.
Gentlemen, I sleep on my pillow. I sleep on my pillow Giza sheets. I have my pillow body pillows. I have my pillow travel pillows. We have my pillow towels. My wife even wears my pillow slippers. I would never recommend a company that I don't use personally. We're proud to have Mike Lindell and My Pillow as sponsors of the show. You can go to mypillow.com and use code TFM. It's our parent company, The Fallible Man. Use code TFM for up to 80% off your order and free shipping over $75 for all of our listeners. My Pillow is a proud American company that is owned by its employees. And with every purchase, you help keep this podcast on the air. So thanks in advance for that. Get yourself a good night's sleep, support an American company, and help keep us going so we can make more episodes like this. Now, let's dive back into the show. Welcome to the Dad Hat Shenanigans Podcast, the unfiltered truth about being a dad. Real dads, real stories, unfiltered, candid conversations on fatherhood. I'm your host, Brent Dallin, and my guest today is Kevin Deanna. See, I told you I screwed up at least once, Kevin. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here.
And as always, I predicted it right. I blow it every time, dude. I get my mouth just starts rolling on the intro.
You were close enough.
So many times.
Close enough.
It used to bother me. Now it's just like, wow. If I ever get that ironed out, my podcast will flow too smoothly, and then I'll really be in trouble.
You'll screw something else up.
Right? Yeah. That's the one right there. Kevin, I'm looking at your hat, and for all of you guys listening, it says I'd tap that. And now we've definitely got to get some answers on it. What is the story for your dad hat?
So this is actually a gift from my 10-year-old son, Father's Day 2 years ago. So he was about 9. I got a hat and a matching cup. And he was asking my wife what I would really like. And I spent a lot of time with my kids out on the golf course and playing sports and fishing. And so me and my middle son, every Sunday, we'd pack up my little one in the stroller and we'd go out to a par 3 golf course and we'd walk. I'd have 3 clubs and my son would tote around his little bag, and he loved to play golf with me. So he got me this hat. He got me a keychain that goes on my bag that holds a couple balls, just 2. And so he didn't know the meaning behind it. My wife thought it was hilarious. He literally sat there looking at her phone and picked out a couple different hats. And this is my favorite one. I got the hat, the matching cup. I wear it on the course. It gets so many laughs from all the guys, especially when they know my 9-year-old picked it out.
was gonna say that's what makes that even better. That's just amazing.
Yes.
Oh, what's gonna be real fun is eventually he's gonna be old enough, he'll get it.
Hmm.
And then he's gonna be like super like, oh my gosh, why
Yeah,
wear
he'll
that?
love it. Don't wear that hat, Dad. Don't.
It's fun when they start eight,
Mm.
right? And they do something. I'm a nerd. I love the Big Bang Theory, the old TV series. I have the whole series, so like we'll just watch reruns of it. And my kids have seen it probably, 6 times through over the course of several years. But as my kids get older, they start to get certain jokes more and more.
Yeah,
My 13-year-old is now cracking up at jokes that she's missed for years watching this. There's like, oh my God. Like she's turning red and it's like
that's fantastic.
it's amazing when they
Uh,
start to get those innuendos they didn't get. Both
hmm.
a little uncomfortable sometimes, and at the same time, it's also hilarious. It
Yeah,
happens.
oh,
He will
it
never
does happen.
you'll have that hat for years. He will never live it down.
No, 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 no. When maybe I'll give it back to him when he's older and he has kids. And I'll be like, just so you remember to spend every minute of quality time you can with them, no matter what you're doing.
I
So,
love it. That sounds like a good game plan right there.
absolutely.
Kevin, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Let's fill the listeners in. How many kids do you have? Who are you? What do you do?
All right. So my name is Kevin Deanna. I have 3 sons, beautiful sons, 4, 10, and 16. So we got a broad spectrum of issues that we deal with on a daily basis. We got one, we just got potty trained about 3 months ago. My youngest one has a speech deficit, so he's still learning to fully speak, which has its own challenges. And then I have a 10-year-old who um, loves life. He's really big into fun right now. Responsibility is not really his thing. Um, then I have a 16-year-old who is going on 30. He's he's actually impressed me so much in the past few months. He has gotten into day trading. He's studying it. He's spending an hour every day for the past 2 weeks on it. He has started his own business, pressure washing driveways and houses. I am an entrepreneur by trade. I have started a few companies in my lifetime. I recently just sold my collision center and we moved down to South Carolina. We love it down here. There's so many opportunities for these kids. Um, I have opened a coaching and consulting business where I help other blue collar entrepreneurs build out their businesses, streamline their operations, and really help them with their systems. I'm also a leadership coach. So there's a couple things I try to instill in my children, leadership being one of them. I think it really has the biggest return on investment as far as skill sets go. If you can learn to help other people, then there's no way you can't better your life at that point. So when my 16-year-old was looking at, he got a speeding ticket a few months after getting his license, and the deal was if you got a ticket, you got to pay for your insurance. So he's looking at his insurance, $3,000 a year, and he's like, man, $250 a month. I'm gonna have to work 30 hours at $12 an hour to pay for this. And then he came up with a pressure washing thing, and now he can work for 4 hours on a Saturday and make as much as he did working 30 hours at a KFC or cookout or something like that. So I was really proud of that. I
So,
had to buy the pressure washer to start, but he pressure washed the house in the driveway, and he's working off the other half of it. So,
a lot of people have to get investors to start their business, right? You either
oh,
got
absolutely.
to get an investor. We're actually working on my girls starting a business this year. They had a t-shirt business off Redbubble. For years, they've been designing t-shirts for kids and selling them on Redbubble. Redbubble has just gone downhill as far as a platform. And
Mm.
we're looking at some other possibilities because we homeschool the girls. And so as part of their curriculum, there I'm requiring them to build a business together. And so they're looking at my mom is saying, "Hey, I don't want them," because they were going to like bake stuff because we're right on the walk route for the junior high in one of our elementary schools. So they were going to
Okay.
bake stuff and sell stuff in the afternoons.
Hmm.
And my mom lives with us, and she's like, "That's a lot of baking and taking them out of the day, and then cleaning up the kitchen. And we're trying to cook. I have a small kitchen, so they're working towards popcorn. Going to do popcorn." And so my mom is in negotiations with them. She's going to buy their popcorn machine up front, and we're working out the business plan of how much they're paying her back at a time, and so they can sell popcorn on the school route.
There's so much they can learn from something like that. I love how you're making them work together to
Mm-hmm.
do it as well. Um, because having a partner in life takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy. As fathers, we know this from having partners ourselves in life. And so working with somebody, especially a sibling, is extremely hard. And if you can master that, then there's no business partner you can't work with out there.
Right? Yeah. I was not introduced to the entrepreneurial concept until I was probably 40 before I even
Mm,
imagined that there was another way to work other than go to work 10 to 12 hours a day every day. Right? I spent
yep.
most of my life doing that. I started working when I was 16 and been doing it ever since. It's like, oh, look, there's another way to make money. Like they don't teach you that in school. Like I had no idea there were 7 ways, like 7 different styles or streams of income that you could build.
Hmm.
I was like, what is investment? What is a royalty? That's something musicians get, right? You know.
Yeah. You make your dollar work to make other dollars. So the first book, so my kids don't get an allowance for doing chores.
Mm,
My sons do chores because they're part of the household, and that's what we do in a household. We have to clean up, we got to clean bathrooms, we got to do dishes.
yeah.
My sons get paid for the books they read. I learned this from John Maxwell. John Maxwell's father made him do this. If he wanted to earn money, and so I pay my kids depending on the size of the book and how hard it is. My 10-year-old gets $20 a book. But the first book my 16-year-old had to read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's a good book.
Yes. When he started this day trading thing a little while back, he set some goals and he wanted to buy a house at 25. He finished the book while I was away in Orlando about 3 weeks ago. And he texted me, he goes, I don't want to buy a house anymore. He goes, I want to buy an apartment building.
Ah,
He goes, I just finished that book and I'm changing things. And it was a really proud moment to see that he actually was paying attention to
mm,
what he was reading, and he was learning that there's a different way than, like you said, we've always been told in school that, like, you go to school, you go to college, you get a good job, you be happy with that good job.
yeah.
And it's, I started my first business at 13 mowing lawns, and it was out of necessity. It wasn't because I was so eager to go out and mow lawns or make money. It was because I needed money. If I wanted a bike, I had better get out there and earn the money to do it. If I wanted anything other than thrift store clothing, I better get out there and go do it. So I learned at an early age to take things in my own hands. I still went to college, but it uh, it taught me that there, like you said, there is another pathway, and there's a lot of reward for being in business for yourself. So I learned a lot about this when I purchased my collision center, and I grew it to 15 employees. And it was fantastic going in every morning and talking with them about where they were in life, not about the business, but about what they wanted to accomplish themselves and how I could help them accomplish it. Helping young men get driver's licenses and bank accounts and apartments, and that was terrific. There was nothing more rewarding than that.
I love it. Yeah, I really take to heart the whole, don't get your kids the things you didn't have, teach them the things you didn't know. The first time I heard that,
Mm-hmm.
bam, that's spot on right there. You know, my dad didn't know anything about this kind of stuff. So, I don't fault him for not teaching me, but it took
Mm-hmm.
me till I was 40 to stumble onto these ideas. And it's like, I'm going to start teaching my kids this stuff now. My kids have investment accounts with Fidelity, and we talk stocks and we talk dividends versus capital gains and long term investments. And I I really wanted to claim that I had no idea that Maxwell actually shared that. I pay my kids to read books. That's one of the ways they can earn money is I pay them to read books on marketing, on investing, on things that they aren't going to learn in their normal education. And I have for several
Mm-hmm.
years now. They have to read the book. I will buy the book and then they have to do a book
Mm-hmm.
report on it. But I pay them to read the books and learn these things to teach them that they can learn things that way and that there are things out there that are worth learning on their own. I had no idea that John Maxwell's dad did that. I thought I came
Yeah.
in original.
Ah, you can still claim it. You can still claim it.
I
It's
didn't
all right.
know it was original to
You
me.
didn't. Yes, there you go. You had no clue John Maxwell did that, and I didn't know it until recently. And I was like, oh my god, what a great idea! But guess what, boys?
Right?
So
I got something for you now.
yeah, that's right. Put away that Harry Potter book. Your hairs think and grow rich. Good luck.
I love it. I love it.
So
Let me ask you, Kevin, what was the best piece of advice you were given when you found out you were going to become a dad?
the best piece of advice that somebody gave me was it's pretty simple, and it's really just to cherish the small moments because it really is just a blink of an eye, and the next thing you know, they're four, they're not crawling, the diapers are gone, and then you turn around again and they're 10 years old, they're out riding their bike with their friends, you're telling them to be home by dark, and then they're driving, they've got a girlfriend, they're hiding in their room, you're just not cool anymore, and it goes so fast. So when I was told to really cherish the small moments, it didn't strike me then, but years later it is so true, just so true. Because one day, they grow up, and it's not that they don't need us, but we hope that they don't need us anymore.
I'm in that in between stage of I hope they don't need me, but I really want him to still. Right?
Yes, yes.
My oldest is 13, going on 30, and she has been for since she was like 2. She's very very independent, very, and it's like I really want you to need me. I don't want you to need me, but I really want you to need me. Right? Oh yeah.
Oh,
She
it's great. My oldest one yesterday borrowed my truck to go do some marketing for his pressure washing business.
mhm.
And he calls me and he goes, "You wouldn't believe this. I stopped at McDonald's, their bathroom's closed. I stopped at 2 gas stations, their bathroom's closed." And I'm like, "Well, there's a public bathroom down by the beach there." And he's like, "Yeah, but then I got to pay to park." I'm like, "No, no, no. I got the parking pass. It's right in my glove box." And he's like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." And it's just like, yes, yes, you needed me just
Has
for something small.
has he found Cody Sanchez yet online?
You know what? I don't know if he has or not.
Since
I'll have to introduce him.
he needs to check
So,
out Main Street Millionaire. Re-
yeah, no, she's done a lot.
her book is excellent. I've read it, so
Oh,
I,
let's put it on my
I
list.
like we'll sit down with the girls and watch Cody Sanchez videos, and
Yeah.
as she looks the ones where she goes out. I love her podcast, but I'll sit there and go watch the ones where she actually goes to a job, a business somebody's built that's a little out of the norm, and she actually goes through it with them and looks at how they do it, and you know, we'll sit down and watch those as part of school sometimes. It's like let's get you
Interesting.
right. Let's get you thinking about some other ideas here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he likes Alex Hermosi. He
Mm,
actually, I just finished the $100 million money models, and he's like, can I borrow that?
mm.
So, I turned him on to Dan Martell.
I loved it.
Um, yes. Yeah. No, Dan's been great. I jumped in his business group a while back. It's phenomenal, guys. Unreal.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
His book, "Buy Back Your Time," is probably one of the best business books I read in the last year.
mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I was 4 chapters into it. I called like 3 people. I'm like, you need to get this book for your business right now, bro. Called a friend
Yeah.
of mine, trucking company, and he is just buried by his trucking company. I'm like, you need to buy this book right now. Say the word, I'll hit send, and I'll just buy it and send it to you. Like, you need to read this right now, because we just had that conversation like 2 weeks earlier about his business, because he's just overwhelmed. He's
Yeah,
scaling back. I'm like, no. Let's look at some other solutions here.
that's right.
So
Yeah. No, you don't realize it when you're so deep in the weeds too. So
yeah. But yeah, he's check out Cody Sanchez's book next. As you're paying him to read books, I mean, hey, now I want somebody paying me to read all the books I read.
wouldn't that be great? Instead of
Right?
us paying for the books. There's so much reward though. I tell my kids, my 10-year-old struggles with it. And I'm like, look, this is an entire lifetime of somebody's knowledge that they're giving you for $20.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh yeah, if you
That's
can start to download that. I introduced my oldest to audiobooks recently.
mm,
I buy a lot of business books for me anyway. So I was like, I have them on Audible. Why don't you listen to them? She's like, oh, yes. I have the book too. You can follow along, but this way you can listen to it.
yeah.
So she's digging the audiobooks right now.
I'll have to try that.
What do
I'll have
you
to try that with him.
what do you want to dive into today? Because I think we talked business with our kids, and I'm not sure that was the intention of the conversation. What do you want to dive into today?
Well, I was going to talk about leadership and creating an entrepreneurial spirit in your children. Not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur, but that doesn't mean that we can't have a little bit of that spirit, a little bit of the looking at problems and trying to problem solve and seeing a situation and being like, wow, this can be done a better way. To me, an entrepreneur doesn't mean somebody that just opens businesses and it is a serial business opener. Um, an entrepreneur to me is somebody who sees something that's broken and can visualize a better way to do it, a way to fix it, and a way to move forward. So I try to create that with my kids. I try to always tell them, don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. How do we solve this? What is the way we're going to move through this and forward? Um, so so that's something that I really like to focus on with them. And then leadership skills. Again, in the beginning, I said that leadership is one of the biggest bang for your buck skills that we can learn, not just in business. I mean, we know this applies in sports. We know this applies in being a father. Um, I use these communication skills all the time with them. Meeting them where they're at and relating to them is something that's absolutely priceless. Um, Seeing my oldest son become a leader on the basketball court, and he wasn't a captain, but he still led the people. People looked at him for the answers, and he didn't realize it then, and I don't know if he really realizes it yet. Um, but but he stopped being a follower that day, and he stopped always looking at the other kids as to what they were doing, what clothing styles they're doing, and he started caring about what he cared about and how he could help other people. Um, and to me as a father, that's a huge success, a huge success.
A leadership shows up in such people. I think a lot of dads miss leadership encompasses so much, right? One of the first books I actually point people towards is The Five Love Languages,
Hmm.
because that helped me. I used to be a supervisor, a team supervisor and manager. And that book, as much as it's been great for my relationships, honestly, it helped me lead my teams so much better. When I started stopping and thinking and identifying, it's like, okay, how does so and so hear love slash appreciation, right? Because it's the same thing one way or another. So how does so and so need to? How do I need to speak to them so they're getting this in a positive light? So they're hearing it in a affirming way to encourage them to keep stepping forward, right? As opposed to this other coworker who's like, how do I need to speak to them for them to feel appreciated, for them to feel lifted up, and we're moving together, we're going in positive directions, right? Because as a leader, you're always trying to lift up the people around you, right?
That's right.
You're picking up your team, you're going through it together, you're not dragging them along, you're motivating them along, you're helping them to grow. And so I had to really work on speaking the right way to them, because I have my way I do it. And I realized to some of these love languages is like, man, I sound like a jerk. I sound so horrible. Okay, I gotta. So, your son
It,
is jumping into all kinds of goodness, even if he isn't the team captain, right? Because there are
mhm.
stages in learning that leadership and learning that how to pick up your teammates and how to lead by example. And
Yeah, no, and that's very true. That's something that took me probably, God, until I was 28, almost 30, before I learned that there's different communication styles, and the way we communicate with different people and their personalities matters.
mm-hmm.
That like just like you, I've got my way, and I've got the way that I like to be encouraged or motivated, but that's not the way that other people like to be encouraged and motivated. So it took me a while, but at the end of my career in the body shop business, I was telling the people who were buying the business about the people's personalities and how to approach them. And as we talk about this, I sit here and I kind of laugh to myself, and it's like, I bet they brush me off, and I'm sure that they'll find out, because people react differently depending on how you frame things, or even your tone of voice. So that's a great book to recommend to just about anybody.
Yeah, it's got this universality to it because everybody needs to feel loved and appreciated at
Yeah.
some level, professionally, personally, right? It's universal there. So I always lean into that because it helps me at home, it helps me with my wife, it helps me with my kids, helps me with coworkers. Save my butt with my coworkers. I had one coworker, man, we butted heads so bad. We both almost lost our jobs because it was just
Mm,
the team. And it was, I had to step back and go, all right, check your ego. How is this not working? What are you missing? Let's break down what we know about him, what we know he responds to. And it's like, okay, we're on opposite ends of the spectrum, and that's what the problem is I'm doing it this way, and he hears blah blah blah, I hate you, you suck, and when I'm really just trying to convey information, that's not what's happening. It's saved my job. So
that's fantastic. Have your kids read that one already?
not yet. We're
13 might be a little young. Yeah.
I think, yeah, she could start to process it. The 10-year-old, no. Or sorry,
Mm.
11-year-old, she just turned 11. She's gonna yell because she watches these sometimes. So I was like, Dad, that last one was really good. Oh, I'm glad you like that, baby. I gotta be careful because she'll hear this and be like, hey, I'm 11. Okay, got it. No, I haven't done that way. We're really focused. You were saying, not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. I think I've heard the term intrapreneur, right? For people who
Mm.
they're content working for somebody else, right? They're content with the job. But the idea of, but how as an employee can you still make it better, improve it, right? How can you grow inside the company
Yeah.
and help people do it? And I know there are some people who are I have some friends who like they're very happy. They like working for somebody else. They don't want the headache of running their own thing. Now that I got a taste of it, it's like I don't know that I could ever actually go back to working for someone full time again. I hated every moment of it for years.
Mm.
Now that I've got a taste of working for me, I'd rather struggle working for me than thrive working for somebody else.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a
Yeah.
personal thing for sure.
It's funny because being a dad of three sons, they're three different personalities, completely different people. And so we were just talking about the love languages, and so how I show affection with my 16-year-old versus my 10-year-old is completely different. The way they process information is completely different. And, you know, I think eventually their life goals will be completely different. Um, my 16-year-old is a lot more like me, and my 10-year-old is a lot more uh, not even quite like my wife. He's a little bit different than both of us, but it's early to tell who they're going to be in another 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and how different events will help shape them. Um, my oldest two are technically my stepsons, so um,
Yeah, technically, spectrally.
you know what? Anybody ever in my neighborhood, they'd be shocked. No, nobody would even guess. Um, I come from a couple failed fathers. My biological dad and my mom got divorced when I was 15. My dad up and left in the middle of the night, didn't tell a soul.
Mm.
We lived in Vermont, and me and my brother were spending a week with him, a week with my mom. We got back to the house and he was gone. The pipes had frozen over, the ceiling in the kitchen had collapsed, and he was just nowhere to be found. He, did it in spite of my mother so that they wouldn't make as much money on the house. She wouldn't have as much money from the sale of the house, whatever the reasons it was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so my oldest two sons both don't have a great relationship with their biological fathers. Fatherhood to me, ever since I was 15, I knew I would be a great dad. The lessons I learned from him leaving my state championship game early to beat traffic, to, his alcoholism, has shaped me in a way that I don't think he intended. But what the lessons that I learned and that I took from his absence, his demeanor, his DUI in my karate class when I was 8 years old, are lessons that I have been able to apply to fatherhood and say, look, it matters if we show up. It doesn't matter if you don't think it means much, if it's just a practice or a scrimmage, but it matters. Um, my oldest son, recently, his dad was supposed to stop here in South Carolina on this big road trip he was doing. And he told me the other day, he said, well, Dad's over in Kentucky heading west. And I'm like, well, he goes, yeah, I guess he's just not going to stop here. And I told him, I'm like, well, Aiden, look, you're almost 17. You're old enough at this point for me to tell you that he's wrong, that he's really screwing things up. And it's okay for you to tell him that as well. And I told him, I'm like, you can take this two different ways, and you can say that this is normal, or you can say that this isn't okay, and I won't make this mistake with my sons or my children, because that's what I had to do. And I hate to see him go through it because I know how hard it is. But I told him that that I would always be there, that I would never miss a thing, and I don't. There's been a couple practices where me and mom have had to go separate ways because they're both playing soccer, but I don't miss a thing. And that I was proud of him. I'm proud of the man he was becoming. So I hope it helps him. I hope it helps him to know that there is somebody in his corner no matter what.
I'm always fascinated by the fact that a similar situation can have two very different outcomes. When it comes to this kind of situations, you're talking about your dad and how you've gone through that and their dads, right? I have met people who they had a horrible father and they became horrible fathers.
Hmm.
And then you meet other people who had a horrible father and they're like you, they went, no, this is never going to be my children. They will never go through this. And they became some of the most incredible fathers ever because they
Yeah.
went, this is not acceptable. And I will not let this be my legacy from my family. and other people who just went, "Oh, I guess that's how it's done. I guess that's how it is, whatever," and accepted it. It's always interesting to me that he has. It's one of those two.
to and his father, actually, my wife was with him in high school and then just out of high school, and his grandfather was the same way with his dad. Didn't show up for anything, drop him off at sports and just leave. So I thought he would be different. But after a couple years of him not buying birthday gifts or not showing up at the Christmas dinner we invited him to, and stuff like that, it really dawned on me that, that's just not the type of man he was going to be. So, I guess I'd like to tell all the fathers out there who watch this that, make sure you just show up, show up for them, be present. I've got this habit where, I I was never on social media. I jumped off Facebook when it went public. I was in college when it first came out. I had to pull all the photos and videos off my Facebook. Um, and recently with the coaching thing, I've gotten back into social media. And my wife went to me a couple months ago. She goes, "Man, you're on your phone a lot." And I'm like, I feel like I am. This sucks. So now at 5:15, the phone is off. It's sitting in my bedroom, and I make sure I dedicate time blocks to each child over the weekend and stuff like that. So it's really important that they know that they have your time and your attention, because no matter what we have going on in life, no matter what business we're trying to build, our kids didn't ask us for that. All they ask us for is our love and our attention.
Oh yeah. I'm a seriously structured individual. You and I were talking about it before we started recording, right? Live by your calendar. I
Mhm.
I used to get I've talked about it so many times on my shows over the years now that I don't hear as much feedback about it. But when I first shared that I actually like time block time off with my children on my schedule, like it's on my calendar, I had some people who were like, "That's just kind of weird, man." I was like, "No, it's not," because my children. Anyone listening can't see this. If you guys listen to it normally, if you ever watch the video, you'll see I have a digital screen behind me. It's one of those Alexa devices, got a calendar and everything on it. My kids love they can come in and tap my calendar and see that they're scheduled on my calendar. They know, oh, it's right here where dad's doing this, right? They know where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing. They know what my schedule looks like, my availability, and they know if they've got something that they can, hey, dad, we've got this going on. Can we put this on your calendar? Will you come to this? It's like, yeah, okay, put it on my calendar and let's do this. Right. But I used to get so much like, that's kind of weird, Dallin. No, this just makes my children a priority. It makes them as much of a priority, if not more, than everything else that's on that stupid calendar of mine because I live by that calendar. And so I do my best to make sure I have that time. As the day we're recording this, this will come out on a Wednesday, but I record all throughout the week. But it's a Monday at 4 o'clock today. There's nothing else. At 4 o'clock till they go to bed is their time every week.
Yeah.
Every Monday afternoon. That is what Monday is the best day of my week. Everybody's like, I hate Mondays. I love Mondays because at 4 o'clock, the phone goes off, the computer goes off, everything is done. It doesn't matter if I'm done, I will produce a show late over cutting into that time. And my daughters know it. They're
Yeah.
like, you all done? It's like, well, no, but that's okay. The podcast can come out an hour later tomorrow. It will live. You know, uh, I
Yeah.
sympathize with you on social media. I am only on social media because of my podcast. I
Yeah.
absolutely despise social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend so
I'm
much time on it with 4 podcasts.
Yeah. Being a creator also involves with consuming a little bit and interacting with the audience and everybody who's interacting with your content. And it's a struggle for me because it consumes time that I'm not used to having to consume.
Mhm.
So, but I couldn't imagine not. doing what I do. Like, I'm able to drop my kids off in the morning. I can make it to anything and everything that I want to do with them. I get to coach my son's football team. Um, I get to take my 4 year old to speech therapy lessons. I get to talk with the doctors. I get to be involved and not just, trying to not play catch up, but I get to be really deeply involved in this stuff. And granted, my wife being an ER night nurse kind of sets me up that I have to be around a little bit more than a lot of other people. Um, but I really enjoy it. I told her before we made this move that it was time for her to live up to her end of the deal and be the sugar mama for a little bit so I could be a stay at home dad. And she goes, so dishes, laundry, cooking. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, stay at home dad. Um, but I love it. I love being involved with my sons and knowing that they look forward to it. They look forward to going out in the kayaks and going fishing. They look forward to going out on the golf course. They, you know, don't look forward to me yelling at them at football practice. But at the end of the day, they enjoy it. My 10-year-old, I've been training for 10K, and my 4 year or my 10-year-old, 4 year old went to in the jogging stroller, but my 10-year-old went with me this weekend. And I was like, all right, well, we're gonna do 4 miles. We're gonna jog, we're gonna walk, we're gonna jog, we're gonna walk. And halfway through it, he's like, I hate this. I'm never coming to do this with you again. And he got done and he's like, well, that wasn't too bad. And this morning he goes to me, he goes, my legs don't hurt at all. And I'm like, well, you wait till after football practice.
Get another day.
Yeah. So it is, there's just so many moments like that where you get to see them work through stuff. And like you know what's on the other side. We've been there. We've got the experience. But a lot of the stuff they're seeing and dealing with for the first time, um, my 16-year-old with emotions and fitting into a new high school. I went to 10 different schools throughout my childhood. So it was normal for me to pick up and go and make new
Military
friends.
brat?
But nope,
No.
nope, nope. My dad just liked to move. He found himself in trouble from time to time. We had to get out of there. So um so this was a whole new experience for him. He's been at the same school since he was in preschool. And so he's learned lessons now of how to go and how to be open and meet people. He uh he brought 5 buddies over here the other night, and I was like, man, I didn't even know you had 5 friends. How many of these guys you got to pay to be here?
Uh,
So it's a lot of fun to be a dad too.
it,
Like my wife told me a long time ago. She goes, moms are for cuddling and comforting, and dads are for fun. And I don't know how it is with the daughters versus the sons, but it seems to be a lot like that. Like my little one loves to cuddle with me, but he loves cuddling with mom. But like, and if there's a problem, if they're not hurt, they come and see me. And if they want to go and do something and have fun and fool around or go throw the football or go horse around in the pool or something like that, they come to me. So it's just really nice to know that you're their outlet for stuff too.
I get the bonus because my girls are daddy's girls.
Yeah.
So I get equal amounts of play and cuddle
Yeah.
because they're just daddy's girls. I'm the first one to sweep in if they're actually hurt and get the situation under control. I was a klutzy kid, so I had lots of practice on myself growing up. I got a lot of scars, and
Yeah.
my wife, like, if the kids are actually hurt, my wife escalates to me because I'm the calm one who knows exactly how to fix it. So my
Mm.
kids have picked that up, and it's like just straight to dad on these things. Let me ask Kevin, you got a dad joke for us?
Oh, I do. I do. So I used to really hate facial hair, but then it grew on me.
Oh,
I'm glad you got it.
I just I laugh because every time I hear something like that, like, my children have never seen me without a beard. My oldest is 13. They've never, like, from the day before she was ever born, like in the hospital, my daughter was kneading her fingers in my beard.
Mm-hmm.
So facial hair jokes always make me laugh anyways, because like I'm not even sure what I look like without facial hair at this point.
Oh my God. My wife had me shave probably the second Halloween we were together. She wanted to get everybody in these skeleton stuff and do face paint. She's like, you got to shave. And I came out of the bathroom and she goes, that is the last time you will do that.
I did.
So,
God, it's probably, I want to say it was 16 or 17 years ago. I was working big construction projects, and there were two major projects happening simultaneously. And the company's got this good natured kind of fundraiser going back and forth. And it was who could raise the most money for Seattle Children's Hospital. And so anybody who shaved, who normally had facial hair, and it was winter already, right? So all the guys had facial hair. We had these huge crews. And anyone who would shave their beard, they would donate $100 to Seattle Children's. And then my company matched, who was subcontracted to the big project, right? Matched. So in essence, it was like, I'm never going to have the money to just give and donate. So I was like, okay, facial hair, I can shave it for that, right? Then they actually went farther. Like they were really into this. So if we shaved our heads, it was another $200. I got them to actually buy into me shaving my legs. So I shaved my head, my legs, and my face, raised $600, right? I had a row of guys, because I was the only one who lived in town. I had a row of guys, military style, on my back deck the day before, with a set of clippers, just in a row. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Hand it to the next guy. He shaved the next guy. We did it military style on my back deck. Like 15 guys, right? But I think honestly that was the last time. I always had a goatee before I started growing a beard, but I think that was the last time anyone's ever seen me without at least a goatee. And without a beard, it's been at least 15 years or more. So I told my daughters, they're like, well, what do you look like without a beard? It's like, I look like I'm 12. That's why I have facial hair, because I look like I'm 12.
That's why my high school girlfriend wouldn't never let me grow a beard or nothing like that. So the day I left for college is the day I stopped shaving. And I always joke, my wife uses the same brand Mach 3 or whatever it is. She started using my razors. She's like, I can buy you a pack for Christmas and you use one all year long. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, when you shave like this much of your face, there's not a whole lot to go through there. So.
Sorry on that totally random hair tangent, but yeah. It always makes me laugh because my wife saw me. I shaved it that one time for that fundraiser. She's like, never again. She said, I feel like a creep. I feel like I'm robbing the cradle every time you shave. You look like you're 12. You look younger than me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I was like, hey, this is payback, because when I married my wife, she was 19 and I was 21, but my wife has a very young face. And so when we were first married, I was driving a forklift in a warehouse. I had a magnetic picture from her soccer team from her senior year on the upright. So soccer picture, right? She was 18 in the picture. She doesn't look 18. And so everybody was like, robbing the cradle, aren't you, Dallin? I was like, she's legal. Like it's all on the up and up. I got harassed about it for a long time, so I don't really feel bad.
Now you feel better about it, though. You're like, my wife looks like she's 25 still.
Right? Yeah, no one guesses she's in her 40s. What? No. Yeah. There are benefits.
Ever wonder what really happens behind the mic? When the lights go off and the polish show ends? Because that's when the real story begins. Join our Patreon and get exclusive access to Behind Closed Mics, Fallible and Unfiltered, the messy, honest truth of growing as a creator and a man. No scripts, no polish, no highlights, just the highs, lows, and the chaos of running multiple podcasts. We're at 4 guys. Coaching, building your brand, and showing up as a husband and dad. Plus, you'll get all the insider content from all 3 of our public shows, unique community opportunities, and direct interaction with me available at every level. If you love what we do and really want to see in the back room to see what happens behind the mic, behind closed doors, raw and unfiltered, guys, join us at patreon.com/the fallible man to support this show and help us keep making things like this for you every day.
So you did the whole Maxwell leadership training thing, is that
I
correct?
did. Yep.
And now you speak on that and train people on that. For our dads listening, what is something from that perspective that you feel like you could give them right now that will help any dad listening in raising their kids?
So, from the book, Everybody Communicates, but Few Connect, it teaches you how to connect. And it takes effort and energy. And we have to meet them where they're at. We can't expect our children to have mastered these lessons that we have in decades of trial and failing and learning how to overcome that. So we really got to go to where they're at mentally. So when I try to connect with my 16-year-old, I try to put myself in my 16-year-old shoes. But then I try to throw the twist on it with the new modern stuff and new technology and all that. And talk in terms that he can understand and relate to. And same with my 10-year-old. When I try to relate to my 10-year-old, it's really simple stuff. It's concepts that he can understand, generalized stuff, and letting him know that I've got his back and he can fail. It's okay. We'll figure it out. And just letting them know that you're really there to support them.
Sorry to just throw that at you, but I wanted to take advantage of it while I was here. I have a great deal of respect for Maxwell's work. I've read several of his books over the years. And so I grew up as John C. Maxwell has been a name in leadership my whole life. And it's like, I don't think I've ever actually talked to anybody who's been through his training. So I wanted to tap that while we had you here. It's like, I know there's going to be some stuff in there we can take away for this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've only been part of the group for about 6 months now. I've practiced leadership for a long time. Mm-hmm. But as I've established my coaching company, leadership is something that I really want to push to the forefront because, like I said, I think it pays the most dividends. Like being able to connect with your employees or your family and being able to communicate with them and get your ideas across to them and have them communicate with you. So here's a great one. I actually got to ask John Maxwell a question about 4 weeks ago when I was at a conference in Orlando. Yeah, I know, really cool. They put up a microphone and he's like, all right, anybody? And I was like, what? So I am not the greatest listener. I've always been a problem solver and an idea man. So becoming a great listener is on my list of goals this year. And I asked him, I'm like, John, how do I become a better listener? What do I need to practice? And he told me, he goes, Kevin, you need to listen with the intent to learn, not to respond. If you do that, if you intend to listen and learn from what they say, it'll change your perspective on how you deal with them and the answers that you'll give. And so that's something I try to practice with my kids a lot is just listening to them. A lot of times they don't need me to respond or to solve their problems. They just really need me to listen and listen to learn what they're trying to tell me.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Kevin, what is your favorite thing about being a dad?
There's so many things that I enjoy about being a father. The thing that I love the most is being able to spend time with them one-on-one and hear about their day, to hear about what's going on with them, what's in their mind, what they want to do, what they find really fun right now, and being able to be a little silly. It's a lot of fun being able to act like a kid again and not be judged by other adults looking around at you. You know, if you're being goofy in the grocery store with your 10-year-old, you know, it's just a lot of fun to be a dad. And that would probably be my favorite thing, is being able to connect with them and be goofy and just have a good time and enjoy them.
I'll tell you one of the things you're missing by not having girls. This is like I said, I talk to a lot of dads. The jaw-dropping look on someone's face when they tease you about having painted fingernails, and you're like, my 4-year-old did this.
Yeah.
Like I've seen grown men just go white because they realize they trespassed on something sacred. Yeah.
Yep.
Big guys like, oh, nice fingernails. Yeah, my 4-year-old did that. Oh, she did a really good job. It's like really smooth before. Backtracking quick.
Oh,
One of those boy dads don't get to do.
No, I don't get that. So, my 10-year-old finally convinced my wife to let him play football. I'm an old football player. I got 2 blown out knees from it, and broke my right arm, dislocated my shoulder, just some other stuff. And my wife's always like, "Well, just look at you," and I'm like, "Yeah, look at me." And yeah, right. And so at practice the other day, he got the wind knocked out of him for the first time. And one of the coaches looks at him and goes, "Congratulations." And on the drive home, he's like, "What do they mean by congratulations?" I mean, like, it's like you're part of the club now, buddy. Like, everybody goes through this. We all get hit. We all get knocked down. We all got to learn how to pick ourselves back up and keep moving forward. So,
yeah, that's it's like a rite of passage. And it's, you know, it's funny as dads, right? Because we all have these stories of the injuries we racked up playing sports in school and stuff like that. And we're like, send him in, let him play. Like, you blown out knees, cracked ribs, broken ribs. You know, you're
yeah,
go do that, baby. That sounds like a good idea. You know, I destroyed my knees wrestling by the time I was 12. Just completely wiped them out in junior high wrestling. I still have problems at 45 that started when I was 12. And my daughter's like, I kind of run and wrestle, but I don't. I was like, you're not. Period. Not because I have a problem with wrestling, but because we don't have an all-girls team and you're not wrestling boys.
Yeah.
A little stuck in the mud on these things. Like, no. They that stuff when I was in junior high. We had one girl on the wrestling team. Like, none of the guys wanted to wrestle with her.
Yeah.
If you beat her, you beat a girl. If you lose, you got beat by a girl. Like, there is no win in this situation as a boy. It's like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
He's a basketball player. My daughter's a basketball player. I'm like, I have no idea where she got that from. I get you. I wasn't doing it usually. So, although it's more contact sport than you would think. I had no idea there was that much contact in basketball.
There is a lot of contact in basketball, especially if you get into like the AAU circuit or the mini metro circuit. It's like full contact. The refs only blow a whistle on occasion. Somebody trips and is bleeding or something.
Yeah,
and then if they're on a breakaway, they don't blow the whistle till the breakaway is done.
I was appalled when my kids playing AAU basketball. It's like I started bringing the medical kit in my backpack because I knew their coaches didn't have one. I'm like breaking out ice packs and ace wraps for the kids in the team. The coach was like, "Hey, thanks. Should have one of these."
Funny.
Like, really? Why don't you have?
I just got my box of the instant ice packs the other day, and my wife's like, "Oh, right? Another one?" And I'm like, "They love these things.
They go fast."
Yeah.
I've had to go down and wrap my daughter's knee like 3 times now because she grew really fast. And so the hard pivots really took a toll. I've had to go down and wrap my daughter's knee like 3 times now for her to keep playing. It's like, hey, play through the pain, baby. Just go do it.
Yeah. Our oldest got the jumper's knee when at like his second or third season of basketball, he started complaining of his knee hurting, and we the wife checked it out and she's like, I think. And I was like, all right, well, we'll roll it up and we'll wrap it around your patella like this. Let's see if that helps. So now he's like, oh, I figured out how to jump off 2 legs. My knees don't hurt anymore.
About time.
Oh, the things you'll learn.
Kevin, what is your best advice for dads?
To be there, to show up even when you don't think it matters, to be intent on listening and learning from your children. Spend the quality time with them. Put your phones away and make it all about them. Don't make it about yourself at all. Make it special for them, because one day they're going to remember that, and they're going to remember what you did for them, and they're going to pass that on to their children.
Where is the best place for people to connect with you? You've got your coaching services. Where can people find you?
So you can find me on LinkedIn, Kevin Deanna. You can find me on Instagram at Kevin Deanna12. That's Kevin DANNA 12. Or you can find me by email at upwardpathcoaching@gmail.com.
Kevin, you got any big projects in the works?
I am intent on changing the collision industry. For too many years, we have walked into these body shops where we're not even sure if they can find the parts that they need for our cars because they can't find the paperwork in their office anywheres. The vehicles that we drive today are not the vehicles we drove 10 years ago. The fact that they have autopilot, autonomous braking, we need to change the way in which we do things in this industry. So I am teaching leadership skills to these owners so that they can communicate with their employees, because I don't think a paycheck is enough anymore. I think we need to lift the people up around us and inspire them. And by doing so, if we can help them make their dreams come true, then they'll help us make our dreams come true.
All right. Sounds like a noble effort.
Yeah.
I hate new vehicles. So you talk about the vehicles. I miss my non-computerized vehicles. My transmission went out on my motorcycle, and I'm heartbroken because it would cost more to replace the transmission than the bike is worth at this point, because it's a 99. Wow.
Yeah.
But it was all mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still all mechanical, and I could work on those and fix those, and it didn't try and do things for me. I hate new vehicles. Autonomous braking, worst thing in history. For someone who
locking up going down the highway, yeah, it's great.
For someone who grew up driving everywhere, like I'd driven across the country twice before I had my actual license, like on my permit when I was learning. That's the way we traveled as a family, is we drove. And so I've grown up driving my whole life. My wife drives school buses, drives regular buses. I hate auto braking systems, the auto detect for cruise control where it auto adjusts. I'm like, what is this? Oh, I lose my mind.
It's funny you mentioned the mechanical thing. We were going on a boat ride down the river we live on, and we came to a mechanical pivot bridge, like a drawbridge, but it pivots. Mm-hmm. And my son, my 10-year-old, was like, what is that? And I'm like, that's a mechanical bridge. It rotates so that, if a train's coming, it can rotate and everything like that, and let the train through. Or if the water's high and they need to turn it so debris from the river can flow freely down the river, they can do so. And I'm like, I bet you that thing's 80 years old and it still works. And about, the hurricane came through on the East Coast about a month ago, and the river level went up about 6 feet. And sure enough, they turned that thing, let all the debris through. And I pointed it out to him, and he's like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm like, do you think your game, I call it a Game Boy, it's whatever, a Switch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you think that thing's going to be working 10 years from now? I'm like, we buy a cell phone for $1,200 and it's only good for 3 years if we're lucky.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Now my first job was on a ranch, in Wyoming. I went to high school in Wyoming. My first job was on a ranch, and the pump that we used to fill our stock tanks for the cattle, because we had a set of pens that were like where our steers who were cut separate from the herd to sell. And then we had our calving corral, and we had some rams that we raised just for their horns. And we had this big, deep water trough for those pens. The pump that filled that thing was a 110-year-old John Deere water pump, hand water pump, that my boss had custom built a motor onto it, so it was motorized.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the pump itself, 110-year-old pump, still cranking hard, used every day to pump hundreds of gallons. Worked great. I guarantee it still works great today.
Yeah.
And that was
wild
30 years ago. They just, oh, this is great. No, it's not, because I'm gonna have to replace it in 2 years. It's not great.
No.
I hard mechanical. I know how it works. I worked in the electrical industry, both in the IT world and as an electrician, and nope, just give me good old fashioned mechanical stuff that just does it forever.
And then you can fix it with a little bit of gum and duct tape if need be.
Right? Oh yeah, man. Duct tape and paper clips go a long way. It just works. You add duct tapes and paper clips to electrical stuff, it ends really badly. Guys, as always, we'll have all of Kevin's connection points, and the show notes are on the YouTube description wherever you're joining us for this conversation today. Kevin, if the dads today listening heard nothing else, what do you want them to take away?
To be present for your children. Show up for them. Make that practice. Make that recital. Practice with them. Spend time with them, because you only get a short amount of time to do it. And once the day is passed, you don't get to go backwards and try it again. We can fail at other stuff in life, but we can't fail at this. They're depending on us.
Guys, for myself and Kevin, thanks for joining us today on the Dad Hat Shenanigans podcast, a community of dads just navigating life's challenges together. Until next time, laugh, learn, and live the dad life.